Hello, this is Michelle from Jasami Publishing Limited with another podcast, the Jasami Bookworm Podcast. I'm delighted to introduce my guests today. It's Harry Thompson. Welcome, Harry.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you very much. Now, Harry is part of our new, the authors, the self-publishing division. So he's come to us with a short story, which we're working on, and the first one that he's going to self-publish. So tell us a little bit about your short story and how it came about, please.
Oh, I don't like to give too much away. You need to buy the book, really. But I worked myself for a long time, so my brain's had a long time to concoct it. But it's basically about a lottery ticket that goes astray and finds its way into the Glasgow underworld. And all that ensues is everything, money, gangsters. Well, why would you not want to read it?
Absolutely, and a Glaswegian character or two.
Yes.
So what made you write the story?
Lockdown. I'm a perpetual worker. I don't stop working. Although now I'm getting older, I have a Sunday.
A whole day off.
the whole day. And I just find that on the lockdown I had literally nothing to do. And I thought, I'm not turning a buck here. I'm not doing anything. So I'm going to write this story, which was really, really interesting because it had been in my head for so long. There's a twist in how it happens. And the ticket, basically, it's the same as what I do. If I'm going out or something, I mark the ticket so I know it's my ticket. And so I knew the story, and then I had built on that. What happens if that did happen? Could this happen? So it all just added. And the interesting thing was the book first half of the book wrote itself, which just wrote itself, and we got back to work for a wee while. So it might never have happened. But then it got shut down again, and I got back to it, and it was interesting because we've got a friend that's kind of a forensic guy for the banks. He goes through, people's letters and things like that, and he can concoct ways and the way they're saying things. And he got him to read my book. And he said the book was great. He liked it. He said, but he said you wrote it in two halves. Mm-hmm. And I said, I have no idea how he knew. But he could tell me the page, and he could tell me I'd written it in two halves. The second half had to be concocted by me, I would say that was the bit I really wrote, whereas the rest wrote itself. Mm-hmm. But it was really enjoyable eventually. But because I started, I didn't realise it, but when I turned 60, I started writing poetry and stuff, and it was weird. And then I was writing jokes, and I did the Fringe in 2019, and I wrote a lot of stuff. Probably never need to write anything else again. I wrote so much stuff. You can go for months and nothing, turns out.
Yes.
But, there was a really funny one. I don't know if you'll like this one or not, but when my boy left, we changed his room into a wee office kind of thing for me, and it was the best thing I've ever done. It's somewhere to go, and I'd advise anybody to do it. And so I was doing the Fringe, but the wife would get quite, where is he? He's doing bugger all, he's up there doing bugger all. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting and I'm just, to be fair, some nights she maybe did bugger all, but some nights she might have wrote two jokes, which was good going. And so I hear her coming up the stairs this night, right? So I'm going to wind her up, right? So I pulls up a sheet of plain paper, and I gets a pen, and I start scribbling sort of wildly on this bit of paper, knowing what she's going to do. She's going to come up, look over my shoulder to see what I've produced. Uh-huh. So she comes in, she looks over my shoulder. She goes, "What are you doing?" I says, "I'm practising my autograph for the Fringe." And I turned round, and this is where it gets really cheeky. Can I be bold and cheeky here?
Oh, yes.
I said, in fact, why don't you get your tits out? Mm-hmm. I says, and I'll practice a rock star one in case I get one. And she's a good Glasgow woman. But I did take a chance there. And I did get, you can imagine the reply was a few superlatives, but that was a funny moment.
Yeah, not exactly. Well, I have to say that we are actually recording this here at the Britannia Panopticon and the Music Hall, obviously, where Stan Laurel first appeared. And tonight is comedy night. So this is your other secret part. Since you've been writing jokes, you're going to appear tonight.
Yes, let's hope I don't make a mess of this and get this good.
I don't think so,
Yeah,
no.
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not known for falling on my backside, but hopefully good. I use the props. Good props are really good for their memory because people doing. You see, I watch comedians now and I've learned a wee bit. I've not been doing it a long time. I'm not an expert, but you'll see events like a bottle of water, and sometimes people will go for the bottle of water because they forgot the blooming joke.
Oh.
And it's a way you're taught to kill a wee bit of time, or if somebody starts heckling, rather than give them oxygen of bringing them into the audience, go for a wee drink, and it kills that wee bit of time, lets them settle down. There's lots of things that you see that you've learned people doing, and I've really enjoyed it. This came about because they were talking about putting me in a home. No, that's just another joke.
To save yourself.
This came about because I've done the same job for 35, 40 years. And I was thinking, do I do something else? And I thought, I don't want to be a tax collector anymore. I want to do something that I can do myself. I don't need anybody, and I can go, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it'll be fun. And that's the way it's kind of went. It's never went anywhere, but it's been fun.
Well, you're going places now because you're right here, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, because we love our podcast to be so varied and interesting, we're going to go ahead and say we're going to record your episode here so that everybody will be able to partake of it and enjoy to our listeners. So this part is going to be a little bit short, and then I'm going to do a part at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to say cheerio now. I'm going to say stay tuned for Harry Thompson at the Britannia Panopticon and the comedy here.
2 more acts in this half. Are you enjoying it so far? I'm going to get the next act straight on. You're going to love him. Give it up for Harry.
Couldn't get a lumber the night, so I brought a chair. Sorry, I'm a wee bit late to the mic there. They wanted to keep me longer in hair and makeup. Would you believe it? I don't believe it, right? Now, I'm not a full-time comedian, I'm only part-time, but you can live in hope. And I do thousands of miles in my job. And in my back pocket on a daily basis, I carry a picture. Right? Maybe at the front you can see who that is. George Michael, 80s icon, superstar. Right? And I carry that in case I'm ever in a serious road traffic accident and need facial reconstruction. And on the back of it, I've wrote me. Just in case they don't get it, you know what I mean? And I'll not be doing gigs this size, I'll tell you, if I look like George Michael. I'll be charging a lot more money. I like to tell a wee story. I used to be a gaffer in a wee Glasgow factory, right? And we had this wee cleaner woman who was fucking mental, absolutely mental Glasgow. Great mental. And I'm sitting in my office, somebody knows one, and I'm sitting in my office this day and I hear her shouting, "I'm going for him." And I thought, here she goes, I don't know if I can go this. And she was coming through the building, kicking the doors open. She wasn't even opening the doors, she was going, boof. I could hear them, boof, boof. Next one's mine, is she going to chap it? Boof, there she is. Come and see this, she says. So I follow her through to the gents' toilet. She goes like that and she opens a trap door. She goes, take a fucking look at that. I'm not cleaning that. So I looks, right, I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the biggest shit in the world, right? This shit was that big that it was 3 inches above the porcelain. It was honestly 3 inches above the porcelain. And I went, wait a minute, we're looking for a specialist here. This cunt stood up to finish this. And she goes, I'm surprised we never heard it. I says, how would we have heard it? She says, because see that arse, it's shut with a bang. And I was going to poke it, I thought the boys have made this, nobody done this, right? I'm going to poke this to push it out. And I got a whiff of it, it was a real deal, somebody actually done this, right? And she goes, right, I've got a better idea. I says, what is it? She says, get all them out there to line up, bend over, drop their trousers to have a look at their arse.
I says, and how's that going to help? She goes, because I'll tell you who done it. I says, how are you going to know that? She goes, because see that arse? It'll be all stretch marks. I done the Fringe and I went in 2019, I didn't do it last time, the drama. And I went in, I hadn't been doing it that long, and I came home and I says to my boy, I says, you'll never believe it, they've gave me 28 seats. Every night, I'm on it. So he looked at me, the white boys look at their dad, and he says, Dad, how long are you on for? I says, an hour. He says, an hour? You can't go an hour without a pee. I thought he's right. So a wee bit deflated, right? But the next morning, I cracked it, right? I obviously slept on it. And I invented this. Now, this was all through the Fringe with me. People tried to buy it off me and everything, right? Lucky nobody's close to it. I've been before because they're sitting one back, right? Because I usually leave a wee bit of residue in it, you know. Somebody could have been wearing it, you know. And I know people don't like being covered in old man's pish, but it's part of the course. So everybody was people were trying to buy that. Listen, big man, I'm a miles away from my toilet. Could I buy that? No, I've got another 28 nights to go, mate. And we thought, there'd be that much interest in it, I thought maybe we should go on Dragon's Den. So we better get a snappy name, right? So we've called it the Pish Taker, right? We fucking branded this boy, right? The Pish Taker. And then we thought, no. They'll throw us, you know, Scottish people were no good at presenting things in. No, we'd go down there, make an arse, they'd throw us out, take that way, right? So we thought, how are we going to get money out of this? And then we realised, now everybody at some point tries to kid on their posh, and I can see that in here. Some of you try and kid on your posh, right? But I know, definitely know in Glasgow, that people get bluttered on a Saturday night, right? And they have a pee in the wardrobe in the early hours of Sunday morning. Anybody going to own up to that? No. But you know somebody, don't you? You know somebody, right? Aye. You know somebody that's done that and had a pee in the wardrobe, right? So we've been talking to IKEA. And we're hoping that the next time you go to IKEA and you open the wee wardrobe door, going to be one of these fucking bad boys screwed to it, right? Fucking Glasgow boy, no daft. Right? I like to tell, what happened to us after the Christmas lockdown. We'd put on a few pun, you know, everybody didn't you put on a few pun at Christmas. So we thought we better go on a diet. So me and her were researching the diets, and they're just a lot of nonsense, absolute nonsense. So we invented our own diet, and we've called it the crack diet. Right, now you can use it yourselves if you want, this is free, gratis, right? So we called it the crack diet, and if you talk to people, they go, oh, that sounds brilliant, big chap. Junkies are never fat, man, that'll be a brilliant diet. And I'm like, no, this has nothing to do with drugs or that, this is purely organic, right? So how this works is, you can eat anything that's healthy, fair enough, but if you want a wee treat, like a sweetie or a bit of chocolate, you have to eat it out the crack of your partner's arse. No, it's had a few different results, right? She's fucking lost a stone, right? But I've put on 2. And my breath's fucking awful, by the way. Feel free to use that, you can use that, you know. Right, now, I'm a bit of a mad inventor, right? I can invent things, right? Now this year, I called my Bobby a name. And when young people do that, they just got a creepy bastard, right? But see, when you get to my age, you can cruise it, no bother, right? So I called it the Big Dripper, right? Because when you get to my age, you can shake it all you like. As soon as you put it back in your trousers, 3 big drips, fucking bang, bang, bang. Beige trousers, fucking out to beige trousers, right? So, as usual, my wee brain goes, I think we could fix this, we could do something about this, right? So, this is another invention of mine, right? This is the Bobby bib. Right? So that's a bib. Isn't it fucking brilliant, isn't it? So what you put the trousers on, put the fucking bobby bib on, right? Fucking brilliant, right? And usually by this point people are shouting at me, right? Now, they're not abusing me or that, but they're shouting, Harry, it's too wee. So this is mine. Right, this is the big bobby bib, right? This is the one, right, see if you don't shake it right, you put it away, your knee gets wet. Not anymore. Fucking, right? But my actual favourite, somebody said, you know, get one with Boris Johnson on it. I went, that's fucking brilliant, I'm going to steal that. So, what's the next time? But no, this one here has got a wee pony on it. So I don't know if you can see that. This one's got a wee pony on it, right? The people are already chuckling that are ahead of me here, right? If you have a good night, shall we say, this could become a unicorn. Fucking brilliant, isn't it? Fucking brilliant. Oh, it's madness. Now, I'm baldy, right? And people go, it's alright being baldy. It's not alright being baldy. You're fucking napped, right? But it was alright, you know, you live your life, you're quite happy. Till the hairdo came out and I was really ticked off. The fucking man bun. I thought, I'm never going to have a man bun. Fucking I am, right? Right? Fucking brilliant, innit? I put this on during the day and just cut a boot, you know. I go for a caramel macchiato in the cake, right? In Glasgow and hope I don't get stabbed, right? And with everything the way it is, I'm going to cycle up to the club probably. And I'm going to throw a few shapes, because see when I put this on, I think I can dance. It's weird, right? I think I can dance. And you know, I notice a strange thing in the women in the audience. I can feel myself being upgraded. Before I put this on, it was no chance. Now I've gone, he's maybe a maybe. I've upgraded him, maybe. So, I'm going to cycle up to the club, right? And I'm going to throw a few shapes. And then at the end of the night, I'm going to saddle up to a nice wee granny and say, fancy a backie up the road hen? That's all for me, people. Thanks for listening.
Hello, welcome back, and I hope everybody enjoyed Harry's comedy routine, which was fantastic. He always makes me laugh. So we're winding this up. Harry, who would you like to do a shout out to?
Well, to get me here in this journey, my son came and listened to me night after night after night as I practiced for the Fringe, and I thank him for that. And my missus followed me for a year, religiously, for a year. And then had enough. So I've been on my own for 3 years, which is it's all good. It gives you a chance to blather and meet interesting people.
Absolutely.
Like Michelle.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I will say one more plug. We are going to be putting up part of the short story on the website as a teaser for you guys. You're not going to get the whole thing. But once it goes up, then we'll let you know where it is and when it's available on Amazon and the other distribution channels, obviously. So once again, thank you. This is Michelle at Jasami Bookworm Podcast. As always, wishing you a sunny day.